Okay, today we're going to talk about rebuilding an alternator, and this is an old GM alternator, but actually it came off of the Jeep Comanche, and instead of $120, I'm going to show you how to rebuild this thing and make it work for $20, so take a look. So I'm working on the old 86 Jeep Comanche, and in 86, as you've seen from my previous videos, it has the dreaded 2.8 liter GM V6, and with a GM V6, it has a GM alternator. And this alternator is bad. The bearings seem to be okay, but it doesn't put out any electricity on the vehicle. I even brought it to O'Reilly and had it put on one of their fancy machines, and it did not work. So from good old Amazon, they have this GM alternator repair kit. So this says it's made by Victory Lap, and I think it has all the components that I need to refresh this alternator to get it back working again. So let's see what is in this box. Okay, so we've got some instruction there. We'll just dump it out. We've got our voltage regulator. We've got our diode trio that goes in our rectifier thingy. Looks like we've got some brushes and a bearing. So even though this is a GM alternator kit, this has a nice reference chart. As you see, it does fit GM 75 through 86, all Delco amperage alternators. I think this is a 78 amp right here. So I mean, this is going to be real easy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tear this thing down, and I'm interested to see what actually failed. So I'm going to show you how to check each of these components. So although we're going to replace all the components, we're going to see actually which one failed. Okay, I do not believe on this, well, yeah, I don't believe I need to take off this pulley unless I'm going to replace the bearing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these little four, looks like 1/4 inch bolts out. Okay, those are out. And the next thing I'm going to do is, I believe I am going to put something in here and try to tap that open where we can crack this apart. As you can see, it's already kind of coming apart there. Very easy. Now, when I pull it apart, the brushes are probably just going to spring everywhere, but that's okay. Yes, they sprung everywhere. That may have been the problem with this thing. Anyway, so let's dump it out right here. I see a spring. There's all kind of goodies up in there. This is the area where your brushes ride on. So we're going to take this. We will clean this up in a minute. We're going to set this aside because we're only mainly concerned with this piece right here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take these three little nuts here, hold this whole winding in. So I've got to pull these in order to be able to lift this up. Okay, those are not very tight, just a little barely over hand tight. Hey, I've got those out. Look, there's actually a dirt dauber nest in there. Okay, so before I go beating on this thing to get this coil thing out, I'm going to put a little PB blaster in the crevice there, so hopefully it will come apart a little easier when I do that. And that did the trick, and then I'm going to slowly use a screwdriver and pry this thing out. All right, so we need to clean this up. So now we have an easier access to the inner workings of this thing. So, okay, before I commence to any testing, I've got to remove the brush assembly, which is right here, the voltage regulator, which is right here, this rectifier and diode. Take a quick note, the two bolts right here that's an old piece of brush. The bolts right here have an insulator, and this one does not. Okay, we will take this brush assembly out with that diode trio. We'll set it right there. And then the voltage regulator will come out, and we'll set it right there. And then we'll take this bridge rectifier. Now, this right here is goes all the way through. That is your main power thing right there. but it is held in by 1, 2, 3, and that one. Okay, we'll take this little piece out, put that right there, and then this one. Okay, then I'll have to take the main power stud out. Okay, this thing should lift out. Okay, so this is a rectifier, and you've got little diodes in here. I hope this is good because I do not have a new rectifier. If not, I will have to order one of these. Okay, we'll put this here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and check this rectifier first. These are the diodes in here. And yes, these things go bad, so they're very common to go bad. So hopefully they're good. Okay, to test this bridge rectifier, we're going to put the put your ground on here, and then we're going to test. We should hear a beep. Hear a little beep. All right, that's working good. And then if I reverse it, I should not hear a beep. So I'm going to put that there. No beep, no beep, no beep. Okay, so that's good. Then we take this and we flip it around. We connect our ground. And then we will test it again. No beep, no beep, no beep. And then now I'm going to reverse it. I'll use my ground as a positive. Okay, that one's working. That one's working. And that one's working. Okay, so this is good. What we're going to do while we're in diode mode is check this diode trio. So this is your common right here. I'm going to go ahead and connect that. And we should hear a beep on all these. Uh-oh, nothing there. Oh, got one there. And nothing here. Get this closer so you can see it. This is probably the culprit of why this thing doesn't work. Okay, so nothing there. Got something there. And nothing here. So let's bring the new one out. All right, now we're going to test the new one. Let's see if we get the same result. Do that. And here we go. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so this was the culprit of this whole debacle here, the diode trio. While you got it, another test you can do is you want to test the continuity between here and here. Okay, what you do not want is continuity between here where your brushes ride and here. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. We'll put that there, and there is no continuity there, and no continuity there, but there should be continuity there, which you can hear that. Okay, so this is all good. Okay, and then I'm not going to test this voltage regulator because it's a little bit more involved, so we're going to just change it anyway. But we do know that this diode trio was bad. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to clean the parts up before we put it back together. I'm going to take, this is the stator, and you do not want to clean this with like contact cleaner. You want to use an electronic parts cleaner made for motors because it's for energized equipment, because this has a little lacquer on it and you do not want that lacquer to come off. So I'm going to go spray this down, put this in here. It's got a little oil residue, but that's from another project. Okay, this kit comes with a new bearing. This bearing is, I believe, goes back here. There is another bearing that you can just grease up in here. I'm going to clean that up. So I've got this nut soaking in PB Blaster. We're going to move these cooling fins and try to press out this bearing and replace it. And the reason I want to replace it because I feel it making noise and feel it vibrating. Hear it making noise and feel it vibrating. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. All right, it's easier to use an impact wrench on this. Okay, this pulley should come off. And here's your cooling fan. We'll take this off real easy. Okay, in order to get this rotor out, I had to put the nut back on and give it a little tap, and it looks to me like it's about ready to come out here. Okay, and we have to be careful because I believe there's a spacer on this side. Yep, there it is. Then once you do that, we've got to take these out and remove the bearing. Okay. All right, now this bearing is pressed in there. All right, and to get that bearing out, I just used a socket, tapped on it a few times, and it popped right out. The next thing I'm going to do is clean all these up. Okay, so these brushes are kind of interesting. This kit came, so you can see these brushes, you have to match them up, clip them on, put the spring in there. It comes with 4 or 5. Okay, I've got the brushes on there. Now we put the spring in each one of these like this. Oops. And then we put this little pin that comes with it through it to hold it. So this is what it looks like. Forgive the buzzing in the background. That's an ultrasonic cleaner. This is what it looks like. It's got the springs installed, the brushes in there, and the little holding pin. So we're done with that. Okay, what I did was I used an ultrasonic cleaner to clean these things with some pine sol and water. I just got to go rinse them off. Okay, this was easy. I just take the new bearing and I tapped it in there. I put a little grease on it so it'll slide in a little easier, so that's nice and flush. Now we have to take the bearing retainer and we're going to put that back on here. All right, got that back on. Now we just put that back in. All right. And now it turns with no noise whatsoever. In assembly as a reverse, we're going to put this little spacer on that. Cooling fan goes next, like this. All right, then we'll put that on, put the washer and the nut. Okay, got this cleaned up. As much as I'm going to do it, put a dab of grease down in the needle bearing there. I'm going to go ahead and put this rectifier in here. Battery stud back in this hole here. Just screw that down. Okay, so your battery stud there holds your rectifier in. Then I'm going to take... Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the voltage regulator in. It goes something like this. Then our brush assembly goes on top of that. You see I've got, as you saw earlier, the pin there is holding the springs in, and there is a little hole that that will go through. Our two insulated ones go here. The insulated ones go where you have the metal connection, and the non-insulated one goes there. Okay, now that it's sitting down there, I do need to remove this one because your diode trio is going to go right here on the rectifier, and then this insulated one goes right there. Next thing, I don't think I mentioned this, but this is actually a radio noise suppressor. You really don't need that, but it came in it, so I'm going to put it back in. That goes right here, and I believe this one goes right there. Okay, so now that I've got all that in, now I'm going to go ahead and tighten down just a little overhand tight. You don't need to, go bananas on this stuff. Okay, I do believe I'm ready to put this stator assembly in, but I think I got a little bit too much grease. Let me dip some of that out. Okay, that's better. So the next step, we've got this cleaned up. This just sits in here just like this. Those 3 terminals going over the rectifier. Okay, that popped right on. So the next thing is I got to put these 3 little nuts on here. Okay, I believe that part is complete. Now we've just got to mate the 2 sides together, but we've got to get the clocking correct. Okay, so I'll leave kind of a picture right here on what clocking an alternator is, but usually the threaded hole, this is your threaded hole, this is your pivot hole. The threaded hole is the 12 o'clock position, and everything I read says this takes a 9 o'clock position. I don't think that's what it was on. It was actually on the 3 o'clock position, so who knows what the previous owner did with this, but we're going to clock it at the 9 o'clock position, and basically what that means is that's the position of your battery cable and your voltage regulator. So at 9 o'clock, so if this is 12 o'clock, that means 9 o'clock position for this would be right here. So this should go on just like this. Okay, that sits down pretty easy, just sandwiches down on there. As you can see, threaded position at 12 o'clock, regulator at 9 o'clock. Now I've just got to put the connectors back in, or the bolts. Okay, and then once you get everything bolted down, all you've got to do is pull this and you'll hear a little click for the brushes to make contact. Okay, the brushes should have made contact now, and this should spin freely. Okay, so we changed out the voltage regulator, the diode trio, the rear bearing, greased up the front bearing, or the front bearing, changed the front bearing, greased up the rear bearing, changed the brushes out. This kit comes with everything you need. The only thing this kit does not come with is the rear bearing, and I didn't need to change that, but you can buy those online for about $5. I actually I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link for this and that rear bearing in the description box. So that's about all there is to rebuilding an old GM alternator, or in this case, an old Jeep alternator. This makes it pretty much like brand new. I do trust rebuilding these more than I trust buying a rebuilt one from the auto parts store, because I know what I've got, as long as you know how to test the basic components. Again, the total cost on rebuilding this thing, $19.99, plus a little dab of grease. So hopefully you learned something with this and helps you out, save some money. Thanks. Yeah. And I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link for this kit, another bearing, and a few other items in the description below. I appreciate it if you check them out. It really helps the channel out. Take care.